Hello, my name's Jane Winnick. We're probably the newest members of the most friendly shul in the world, so we're living it here. I've been writing about this conflict since October the 10th, actually, 2023, and obviously focusing on hostages, Israel and everything. But I've found that in the last few months, I'm very much focused on the anti-Semitism here and the worrying time for Jewish people here. So I wanted to ask whether, obviously you're speaking to people day in, day out, how do you feel the Jewish people are generally? How many do you think are seeing their future elsewhere? And what can we all do to make this country a bit safer? Do the politicians realise how badly the Jewish community are feeling? So just generally about the anti-Semitism here.
Thank you very much. And thank you for what you're doing. And this is a really important issue. Tragically, levels of anti-Semitism have shot up, and it's a global phenomenon. It's not a UK phenomenon. And it's highly lamentable. And wherever one is, there are issues relating to Jews and Judaism. And even if you take America, where, thank God for President Trump's leadership, which has led to the hostages release and the ceasefire, but even in his own party, definitely amongst the Democrats and around America, it's not the happiest place for Jewish people to be. So I think we should not be in denial of the reality of the problem. The problem is there, it is threatening, and it is real. And we saw what the tone of discourse in our society caused through the tragic Heaton Park Shul attack on Yom Kippur. But I have noticed that, thank God, we do have many friends. And I'm sure you've all come across many people. I'll give you just one example. It was a year ago. 8th of October, by the way, that's lovely. The sound of children is the best sound to hear in any shul. So it's all fine. So 8th of October 2024, I had a long-standing arrangement to speak to the Edinburgh Jewish community. And I arrived, and they were seated theatre style in their hall, and I was at the top table, and they brought me, I sat at the top table, and I noticed either end of the top table, 2 beautiful flower presentations. And I naively thought, oh, it's very nice, the Chief Rabbi's they've got these lovely flowers. The president of the shul welcomes me, and he says, just before the Chief Rabbi speaks, I want to read to you the cards accompanying the flowers. Yesterday, he said, was 7th of October. And when we arrived at the shul building, these bouquets of flowers were leaning against the front door with these messages. And he read the message, I am Christian, I live half a mile from your synagogue, please know that you're not alone. Today is the first anniversary of a terrible terrorist attack, and we will always support you, we love Israel, we're with you, God bless you. Those kind of sentiments. And I have found this has been commonplace, and it certainly exists amongst our royal family, because on Monday of this week I was with His Majesty the King, who visited Heaton Park. In his private conversations with me, always exceptionally supportive, Prince William as well. I think we're in a good place with regard to the royal leadership of our nation. And with regard to the political leadership, unfortunately, I've already mentioned it, there have been some policies relating to Israel which we have needed to publicly criticize. Together with that, the government is determined to find ways to resolve the anti-Semitism issue. The big question is how, and it's not easy. And I think that we have to recognize that some anti-Semites will be anti-Semites regardless of education or what you might try to drum into their heads. The Talmud puts it this way, Halakha hi Esav sonei leYaakov. It's a fact of life. The Esau's of this world hate the Jacobs of this world. That applies, I believe, to a small percentage of people. The vast majority of people out there are decent people. Right now, I genuinely believe that not everybody who says that Israel is guilty of genocide is an anti-Semite. Why do I say that? Of course, Israel is not guilty of genocide. God forbid, 1 billion times. It's one of the worst lies. It's a blood libel. But there are a lot of people who are decent people, and they hear things, and they see things, and they see images, and nobody refutes it. And this seems to be the issue of the day, and therefore they support this type of matter. If only we could tell them the truth, and we're trying, and there are efforts, but the enemy has perfected the art of communication and of demonization. And we all know that Hasbara, PR for Israel, has never been good. And it's been such a pity that it's actually been quite poor since the 7th of October. No problem. It's okay. So in terms of something that we can do, I believe we should stand tall. Let's not allow other people to define us according to their perception of us. Let's define ourselves. We know what Jews are really about. We know what Judaism really stands for. We know the truth about Israel. Let's stand tall. Let's be proud of genuinely what we are about. Let's tell the world that is what we stand for. And let's also engage in communication, giving arguments, speaking to the people who are against us. The vast majority, I think, will listen. Not so easy to convince them. Education plays a huge role in all of this. We in London are trying through various organizations to engage in training of leaders, of groups, within schools, etc., relating to anti-Semitism. But the challenge is absolutely enormous.
So just to let you know what we're doing here in Yorkshire.
Yes.
We have a group that goes out every Tuesday into the streets of Leeds and occasional Sundays, handing out information, talking to people. I think you're absolutely right when you say most people, they see what they see on the BBC. You probably wouldn't love Israel either, but we'll talk to you. The haters will always hate you. I think I personally run a resilience group where we get together and talk just amongst ourselves to make sure we're all okay. Totally agree when you said about the one blessing is that people are coming back to each other. We see this all the time. And, the educational side and the political side, we're trying to get into churches to talk and really give the reality of what it's like to be Jewish. And this Sunday, a few of us were invited to talk at a church, and lots of people, it wasn't a particular church, it was a wonderful lady who set up Leeds Christians Against Anti-Semitism, invited us and got lots of people from different churches, Huddersfield, York, Harrogate, all over. And they were totally shocked when we actually spelt out the reality. And the first shock for them was that we needed police protection to hold the event. And I think, I'm hoping that, by doing stuff like that and talking to as many people, that we can start to negate some of the misinformation that's out there.
Well done. I think that's terrific. Thank you very much.